We've had a terrible recession. We've had a hard time recovering from the recession. There's been a lot of aggregate income lost for the average American. So the question is, are we still feeling the fallout from the recession, or are we going to grow at a low rate for the long term? And my fear is that we are, unless policy changes are made. So I think we're at an inflection point between a 1.5% to 2% economy, which is what we got now, and a 3% economy, which is what we've had in the past. And to get back to where we were, we need to make some policy changes. I actually believe that Republicans and Democrats can come together on the kinds of policies that are necessary to get growth back in our economy. And so those are things like immigration reform that would help us rebalance our demographic problems. There are things like smart changes in the tax code that Republicans and Democrats can agree on, like getting rid of loopholes, lowering marginal rates, having much more of a consumption tax. But that requires leadership, both from the White House and from members of the House and the Senate, the leaders in the House and the Senate. And that's what we're missing. Historically, we've had that. We had it with Tip O'Neill and President Reagan. We had it during the Clinton years. We even had it during the George W. Bush years with things like No Child Left Behind, which was passed by a huge majority. Welfare reform during the Clinton years passed by a huge majority, bipartisan. So I think that can happen again. It's just very difficult given the current cast of characters. I think there is good news. Now, some of it requires some policy change. For example, immigrants have been driving innovation change in America. I think if we change our policies, we can get more smarter immigrants. There's no doubt about that. I also think that we haven't gotten all the benefits from the technological change that began in the 1970s with our internet technology. I think we're going to begin to see more of that. I also believe that there are lots of things that you can't possibly predict that are going to happen. And for us to despair is really not the right attitude. That the United States has been successful and will continue to be successful. And it may be because Americans are the greatest practitioners of animal spirits. We're willing to take risks, and I think we're going to be successful in the long term.